Hi. That's very loud. So, hi. Maybe to a bit illustrate on growing through change is the fact that 5 years ago when I started out in Inbank, my biggest fear was presenting something on a stage. And now I'm on the biggest stage that I've ever been on. So I think one of the things to always actually to change is to actually put yourself out there and challenge yourself more and more going forward and learning from the change. So my first question when putting together this presentation was actually, who is a woman in tech? Am I actually a woman in tech at the moment? Because when I started my career in technology, I was quite sure what the woman in tech is. But going forward in this constant evolvement of technology and how it's part of our lives and how, let's say, different roles are represented in technology, I'm not so sure anymore. Is a head of product actually a person who is a part of tech, or it's engineer? With engineers it's quite clear, but head of products maybe not so much. What is the expectation of the roles is constantly changing. Same is with engineers. Like 5 years ago, it was engineers were coding. Today the expectation is much different, and it's changing all the time. So, but as you can see from this picture, actually my resume is quite short. If you look at my LinkedIn profile, I've worked basically in technology only in 2 places. But my journey itself has been much, much longer. So I started out studying law. I didn't know what I actually want to be, so I studied law. That seemed quite safe thing to start out with. But then I moved towards technology because it seemed quite interesting. And I started out as a business analyst, then IT analyst, writing analysis for developers to do developments. Today, we don't have this role anymore, basically. What we have are product data analysts, product managers, and engineers are filling out the role that I actually filled out before. So I needed to change in my role all the time as well. So I moved from business analyst to IT analyst, then head of IT analysts, quality assurance and integrations, then managing different kind of IT projects, and then let's say 2 years ago, we had the biggest change in my life, so we had an organizational change in Inbank. So now we are a product-led company, which has a product tech unit. And I would say organizational change is something that is not only like a strategic move, it's actually deeply personal change in your life as well. So I think the biggest learning from that point as well is that how you actually adapt in that change. So first thing that happens are invisible politics through the change. And how do you actually handle those politics on the background? Do you voice out your opinions? Do you take sides right away? Or you just listen and observe and understand what is going on? Listen what is not being said, and then creating the space to actually discuss what and how to move forward. Then what happens is also figuring out your work-life balance, setting boundaries, and having the imposter syndrome. I think one of the biggest things, what I see in very high-achieving women at least, are imposter syndrome. Because we always definitely think that when there is ongoing change, we tend to doubt our abilities in that regard, much more than men do. So I encourage you to always think, in that case, actually, what would a man do in that case? Would they be in doubt, actually, or they move boldly forward? They say and voice out what are their boundaries and what works for them, what doesn't work for them. So turn that doubt actually into drive and use it to move forward. At the moment, even if you are in doubt, if you are able to do it perfectly, you act on it, you work on it, and you move forward. So in the end, it's actually finding your center, what works for you, and voice it out. Because women often hold themselves back, and they feel that they are not ready, but actually don't need to be ready. You need to just be present and figure out the way. Because what I have understood from not only in being in tech as a woman, but also what is my actually benefit as a leading woman in this area, is that I bring additional things to the table. I think bring empathy and communication. I bring systematic thinking, courage to challenge the status quo, and collaborative over competitive mindsets, which are actually quite key in those organizational changes as well. So I encourage you all to stay curious and keep learning, adapt fast, and actually use your voice. It is important to actually not only focus on building your career, but actually to lift others as well in that. Because in the end, that will lift you as well. And reflect often, what can I change more? If I've done this, what did I learn from this? And it is actually important to go in confidence. And that's it. Thank you.